Dig a little deeper.
Yep, that's what we're gonna do.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dig a Little Deeper. Happy New Year. It's been a while since we've seen you. We are thrilled to be back with you again after a short hiatus so we can celebrate time with our families during the holidays at home, which is what we do all the time anyway, but we wanted to celebrate it this time. So,
You celebrated it.
as you can tell, today is Boys Wear Blue, Girls Wear Burgundy Day, so we are proud to celebrate that. Our red chair, a boy chair. And go Dodgers. Yeah. Cheating their way to the championship, just like the Astros.
What? I don't think so.
And yes, we are in the lead 14-3. Go Saints, although I'm rooting for the Bears. And if you're not watching on Nickelodeon, you're not getting the full experience.
That's for sure.
But we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about thank you. We're here to talk about Space Mountain as we dig a little deeper. But first, quick reminder, please do us a favor, ring the bell. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to us. Subscribing is important. And like our stream. Give it a big thumbs up. That's also helpful. So, as I said, we are going to be talking about Space Mountain and dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper in case this is your first time encountering us. That's the show where we take some aspect of Disney, usually an attraction. We discuss it at this level. Where are you guys? Thank you. And then we dig a little deeper. Not a lot deeper. We are not like Jim Corcus or something. We're going a little deeper. All right, let's keep things in perspective here. So, as I said, today is Space Mountain. Quick introduction, and then we'll get started. My name is Doobie Mosley. I am the co-founder of Laughing Place, the co-owner of this household with my fellow. What's the female equivalent of fellow?
I'm Rebecca. I'm his wife. We founded Laughing Place together. We've been married for 2 decades and more. So there you go. Okay, now
down there from On the Go at MCO, but our regular contributor to this show is the lovely and talented Shelley.
Hey, everybody.
And over there, the vice president in charge of wearing T-shirts for teams that win a World Series once every 25 years, Jeremiah Good.
Hi.
So let's get started. Space Mountain. So I think, what is going on over there?
So the Mickey and friends are floating off into space. See?
I think when people think of a Disneyland thrill ride, a quintessential Disney thrill ride, there is no question that they immediately think of Splash Mountain. But after that, the next thing that pops into their head would be Space Mountain. You agree?
I don't even remember what the beginning of that question was. I was so confused.
I think quintessential Disney thrill ride. What's coming to your mind first?
Oh, well, see, okay. Little known fact about Rebecca. It took very, very, very many years before I was tall enough to ride Space Mountain. Double digits.
We're still waiting.
Yeah, no, it was double digits before I was tall enough to ride Space Mountain. So it wasn't very quintessential because it wasn't accessible. So
I think it's the quintessential. Even people that have never been, name a thrill ride at Disney. If we were playing Family Feud, that would be the number one answer. Space Mountain.
Space Mountain?
I agree. Don't you guys agree?
Like thrill ride.
Thrill ride. Yeah, thrill ride. Of course.
Maybe I think
Pirates would be ride, but thrill ride would be Space Mountain.
I think Big Thunder maybe has passed.
Actually, I think Mike has the proper answer.
That thrill ride of Dumbo? Yeah, totally.
Go with me, guys. We're talking about Space Mountain today.
Yeah, okay, fine. Space Mountain.
Fine. Space Mountain. So,
the scariest part was that escalator. Was that
when
called?
You got off?
What was it called when you? No,
the walkway.
When you would, to get in the queue, you'd have to go up this escalator thing.
That's the scariest part.
Oh, okay. Was it me?
Scariest part for me is the static electricity. When you first walk into the building, you're touching the metal railings at Disneyland. You always get shocked.
Yeah. Oh, do you really? Oh, that's funny. Oh man. Maybe it was the interstitials that they had while you were in the queue with Mario.
That's pretty cool. Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, and Tokyo.
Oh, that's pretty epic.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it, Gio. That's really, really cool.
All right. Space Mountain, the quintessential Disney thrill ride, whether you guys want to admit it or not. the ride that's famous for taking place in the dark.
That is really cool.
Do we have a commercial for it? Do we?
I didn't queue up the commercial. I probably should have. It's the dorkiest commercial.
It's like the sled is just like
It's like a puppet or something.
In space. You remember?
Yes. Opened at Magic Kingdom in 1975, but even before that, Space Mountain was originally thought to be an attraction for Disneyland back in 1967. Created the concept coming from Walt Disney himself. And with concept art created by John Hinch. So here's some famous concept art of what was then known as the spaceport. And I think, I know all of us are familiar with this. I think a lot of Disney fans are familiar with the concept of the spaceport. You can see here, the track actually goes around the mountain as well, which, would be kind of cool. So, but for various reasons, including lack of technology and lack of sponsorship, Spaceport never did come to be. Sat on a shelf until it was time for the new park called Walt Disney World to get a big major thrill ride. In fact, it had no major thrill ride when it opened, right? There was no Big Thunder yet. There was no Matterhorn there.
Hold on, there was.
So they decided to do a thrill ride there.
And People Mover. There's just like one. It
doesn't even go up and down.
Terrain changes. Yeah, elevation changes. Sorry.
Terrain, off-road and People Mover. Goes underwater.
Is it test track People Mover?
Okay.
Did you remember to turn off those robots?
So in 1975, on what date, Shelley?
January 15th.
January 15, 1975. The Space Mountain opened at the Magic Kingdom.
I always forget that it was like a Magic Kingdom original, like Country Bears, right? Country Bears is another one where it's a Magic Kingdom original. So I often forget that. But can I ask a question? I mean, are we moving on to a little bit more like Disneyland now? Or are we still focusing on Disney?
I was just going to talk about the ride itself.
Go ahead.
It opened in 1975 at Magic Kingdom, sponsored by RCA back then. Is RCA even around anymore? They made like TVs and stuff like that.
They're the company with the dog, right?
Yes.
And the phonograph.
The dog was actually in the queue. You'd go around the dog listening to the gramophone.
That's so cool.
And huge building back there behind Tomorrowland. Kind of did not get. It was outside the berm. It did not get hidden anywhere. You could see it from outside the park, of course, which is not a bad thing. It had two tracks, still does, the Alpha track and the Omega track. Am I right, Jeremiah?
Yes.
And of course, the cool thing about
the beta.
What?
It's not alpha and beta.
It's not alpha beta. It's alpha omega.
Omega.
He knows that. He's just messing with me. And
it's like the landing bays on the Galactica.
And it's the highest spire, 117 feet. That would actually tower over the castle at Disneyland. If it was built to that same size. That's a huge mountain there, but of course, because they have a real castle in Florida, it fits into the scale. So it's nice. And it's a thrill ride. Disney World finally had a thrill ride. And even though its top speed is only, I think, somewhere around 30 miles an hour, because it takes place in the dark, it really does give quite a thrill. You can see how huge the building is there. Jeremiah, of course, took this using one of his drones, which goes up to, 30,000 feet, Jeremiah?
About there, yes. It was a Delta drone.
Yeah. Nice view. And, of course, the People Mover goes inside of Space Mountain. One of the unique things about the attraction is another attraction goes through it, which means when it breaks and they have to turn the lights on, they have to do something so that the illusion isn't ruined. So I know at Disneyland they would actually bring down the curtains to hide Space Mountain. Did they do that at Magic Kingdom too? So
No.
You can't see in the light? They don't?
No, they just shut down People Mover for all of 2020.
So, but at Disneyland they had curtains because Disneyland's People Mover went through it as well. And so when they would break down and I was like, I'm gonna go ride the People Mover, see Space Mountain with the lights on, and then you get in there and they've already covered it up and you can't see it.
Unless you caught it in that small window.
Yeah.
You could catch the windows where sometimes you would get a peek.
So anyway, that was Space Mountain Disney World, 1975. And of course, within 2 years, or just after 2 years, it would open at Disneyland, 1977. And there they actually had to scale it down because, as I said, it would have towered over the castle. So it's a smaller mountain there. They actually sunk it about 15 feet into the ground to bring it down there. And
Digging a little deeper.
They dig a little deeper, yeah. It was always there. Space Mountain was always there. And so therefore it only has one track at Disneyland.
Yes.
I believe they call that the track.
The track, yes.
And so there we are. We have two Space Mountains now. We're in 1977. The International is still off in the distance a bit. So now let's discuss.
Well, no, I was just gonna say if I say Disneyland Space Mountain, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Because I can tell you instantly when somebody says Space Mountain to me, I have an instant visual, and it's not what you would think.
Chocolate chip cookie.
You think chocolate chip cookie?
Yes.
Okay, how about you, Jeremiah? What comes to your mind? If somebody says Disneyland Space Mountain, what do you think of? Anything in particular? The fires? What?
No, for me, it will always be the escalator out front because that was my favorite thing as a kid is the moving walkway.
How about you, Shelley? When someone says Space Mountain Disneyland, what is there something that pops into your head in particular?
This is going to sound weird, but I always think of the queue on the roof.
Yeah.
I think of orange bricks. Those
yeah.
shimmery orange bricks that were that I feel like that's what was on that top deck.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So for some reason when someone says Disneyland, when someone's talking about Disneyland, they talk about Space Mountain, the visual in my head is Fanta orange bricks with a metal pole. Like as if the only thing I did when I was in line was just look at my feet as we were walking through the queue. I don't know why, but like that's kind of the Pavlovian response.
Here's a good one. So we're going to talk about Starrcade because
I think of Starrcade now extended queue of Space Mountain. Yes,
that is an important part of Space Mountain, and we will most definitely talk about where some of my most formative events in life have taken place.
That was a mess to do on the trip, man. That was.
What you doing there, Jeremiah?
Air hockey. Come on. Air hockey.
Upper level air hockey.
Right,
we used to have tournaments up there. We'll talk about that later, though.
So let's take a look at Space Mountain. So, of course, when you picture Space Mountain at Disneyland, this is the image we all get, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah. You and me. Yep. That's the image, right? This kind of brownish, brass kind of looking building with some sort of, it looks like it's got this tarnish, which to me, for some reason, looked like moss. But
Space Mountain is famously white. White is snow. Christmas white. And in the new Tomorrowland, what's wrong, Jeremiah? You don't like the term Christmas white?
It's California. There is no Christmas white.
As white as Spaceship Earth. But for a short time, as a part of the new Tomorrowland of 1998, they actually decided to make it bronze, as shown there. Fans thought that was a terrible idea, and I think eventually execs came around too, and they made it white again.
In fact, I think if you scroll down, I think you'll see down and around there. Yep, that's the one. He's trying to pull it over.
Oh, very good. Yes.
There you go.
See.
Oh, wait.
This
Change it back. Make it pink. Make it blue.
This is from bronze back to white. So, but it was interesting doing my minimal research for this edition of the show.
It's been a busy.
Is there another attraction for something that's so incredibly popular? It's amazing how many iterations this thing has gone through.
Yeah.
So it started as just a ride in the dark. In 1996, they added the Onboard soundtrack. That's when I became a Disney fan. So I don't remember it without the soundtrack very well, but they added the soundtrack. And then they got crazy. They went with and that was with Dick Dale, the Dick Dale soundtrack. Then they went with Rockin' Space Mountain with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. Ghost Galaxy and Hyperspace Mountain, which is what it is now, right?
Yes.
Is it Hyperspace Mountain?
No, it went back to normal.
Yeah, it went back to traditional, but with a different soundtrack.
But with a different soundtrack.
Yeah, so there's actually 6 different versions.
Insane.
It's an amazing thought.
And it's not like they have to keep switching it up. People are riding Space Mountain no matter what.
And with some of these, the visuals would change too.
Right.
I know for Ghost Galaxy and Hyperspace, it did. Did it change? Did the visuals change when they brought in the Red Hot Chili Peppers? I missed out on that.
They had this never mind.
No, it was
Shelley gets it.
I've never seen Shelley.
So wait, they'd already removed the moving walkway that time, but wouldn't it be great if they had it and they put the sock on the moving walkway? So
I missed the moving walkway because it was one of the fun games you'd play when you'd go to Disneyland. You'd be like, which moving walkways will work today? Because you had a moving walkway for Space Mountain. You had a moving walkway at the exit of the Haunted Mansion. You had a moving walkway to get to the monorail.
Right.
I feel like there was one other one that I'm not mentioning, but those are the ones that are coming.
Oh, People Mover.
Yeah, People Mover.
That one always worked.
For some reason, but the other three, I never felt like if I went to Haunted Mansion and it worked, then I wouldn't I wouldn't go over to Space Mountain expecting that one to be on.
We had a thing, only one could be working in the park.
It was really funny.
We had enough. The mice downstairs could only power one moving
That
walkway
was
at a
the
time.
joke. Was the little critters on the wheel could only power one.
Can I ask a silly question?
Why,
No.
sure.
Might be a silly question. So, because I feel like I've heard them referred to differently, as the moving walkway is the one that's flat, and is it a speed ramp when they go up?
the
That's probably accurate.
who made the speed ramps?
Goodyear, right?
Goodyear
Mm-hmm.
Goodyear speed ramps. Yeah, that was
Okay.
the title of them, but they're all moving walkways.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, that's how I think of it too. You're right, Shelley. That wasn't a stupid question. That was a very intelligent question.
Yes.
I just feel like I've heard them referred to different ways, especially since the one at Disney World had both the incline and the flat.
Yes, hon?
Nothing.
Oh,
Yes, dear.
she started to speak, but then she changed her
I
mind.
did.
Let's see. So we've talked about the iteration. So I've only unfortunately done the Dick Dale. That's the only one I can remember. How about you guys? What are your favorites of the iterations of Space Mountain?
Shelley?
I feel like this. I liked Ghost Galaxy a lot just because I like the creepy sounds and everything, and I really liked the Hyperspace Mountain. I really just enjoy those overlays. It's not that I just don't enjoy the ride originally, but it's that I
Don't pay attention to me. I'm hitting the wrong buttons over here.
I really like the overlays. They add a little something special to it. And I'm sorry you disagree, Luke, but I think it's okay.
How about you, Jeremiah?
I will go with Ghost Galaxy, although I did, just like you, Doobie, the Dick Dale version was I can remember the original non-sound, and then the Dick Dale just changed everything.
It was insane.
Yeah. And then the current music I enjoy, but it's, it definitely fits the space theme more, but Dick Dale was just so much fun.
I mean, we would just ride that over and over and over again. And the soundtrack he created for that, I mean, the song itself was so good. They actually ended up using it in the France Pavilion at Epcot, right? That L'Aquarium tune.
Oh, haha, very funny. That would be the other way around. It was in the France Pavilion. Well,
yeah,
ever brought
Well,
over
I mean,
too.
it's a classic.
Yes, I realize it's a classic song, but I also just
isn't
mean
it one of the planets? Isn't it Mars or something? Isn't that one of the?
I thought it was Aquarium.
It is
from
Aquarium.
Carnival of the Animals.
It is.
Yeah. Where am I getting Mars from?
Yeah,
It's
I'm talking over
I
Jeremiah's
have
head.
no idea.
Too cultured for Jeremiah with my
Oh,
classical
good.
music knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. By the way, when they opened that new Tomorrowland, Dick Dale actually stood up there in that area by the moving walkways and played guitar, surf guitar.
That must have been really cool.
Yes. It was one of those mix-in nights because they had the media was all over there and so we were over in the rest of the park, but it kind of spilled over into the park proper.
Disneyland was doing mix-ins before Cold Stone. Jeremiah, if you hear that song, Disneyland, you can like just pick. You can ride Space Mountain in your head just hearing that soundtrack. Yeah.
I will be putting it on the CD when this is all over.
Yeah, and I think that was Disneyland's first foray into onboard audio like that.
It was the first attempt at onboard audio anywhere in the theme parks. I want to say the theme parks here because Discovery Mountain, Space Mountain, which we'll move into. I can never remember the exact dates for it, but that was definitely, Paris got it first.
And this was when, by the way, when this all happened, when FedEx took over their sponsorship of Space Mountain. And it was cool because the onboard audio, it doesn't just, press play when the ride starts, because the ride can fluctuate a little bit. It's not always the exact same timing. And so they had to have different things, like when you go down that hill and the time for that through whatever high-tech stuff that FedEx footed the bill for. So, and what I also remember about FedEx taking over, Jeremiah, you were a Disneyland fan in those years. Yeah. So who was the guy in the queue? They changed the queue video, and it was the guy from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, Mario Lopez. They had that Space Mountain video that was absolutely classic. And that actually tied in with Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom because they had excess tech from Alien Encounter and references like that.
I remember my favorite line from that is, "We're T-minus real close to blast off." And that just always cracked me up.
The first time my friends got me to ride Space Mountain because I was finally tall enough to ride,
she got some lifts.
I was scared because
candy apples on the seal on the bottom of her shoes, like
I hadn't really been able to ride roller coasters, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. It's pitch black, so it's not like I can see what's ahead. So I was terrified out of my mind. So they covered my ears.
All personnel clear the launch platform.
Yeah, and they didn't because when you go through that section by the coaster, there's all these like screams and stuff, and they were like, "That's gonna scare you more than it really should." It's not. it's exciting, but it's not that. You've ridden Matterhorn, you like it, you'll be okay. And so they like guided me through, but I was terrified out of my mind.
Oh, since you brought up Matterhorn really quickly, so Matterhorn was the first steel tubular roller coaster ever created, and it was created for Disneyland. So that was really the only roller coaster that was created at that point. So that's why Space Mountain in Magic Kingdom has the two tracks that were almost the same as the Matterhorn, including the cars where you used to sit in people's laps. So that's why the progression of Matterhorn, Space Mountain, then Space Mountain out in Disneyland, where it was side by side and much more capacity.
And I've heard, I'm pretty sure this is true, that when Matterhorn switched from, dang it, think, Doobie. Not the cars they have now, but the ones they had prior, where you were sitting in someone's lap, two. But those actually were the original Space Mountain ride vehicles. Magic Kingdom. Yeah, those are the Magic Kingdom original ride vehicles.
Let's sit back and enjoy this for a second, shall we?
So good.
I love this.
It's so good.
John is not wrong.
Here it comes. Doobie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh no. Let's get this question.
We have ignition.
Oh, this is a good song. Okay. As Donna is saying, I think if I would have been at Walt Disney World, I'm not sure I would have enjoyed it as much the first time, because it feels a whole lot less like when at Disneyland, you step down into the vehicle and you're like in this like little cocoon, and then the bar comes down. Whereas at Walt Disney World's, the seat back only comes part way up, and you don't really step very deep in, and it's much more the toboggan feel, and so you feel much more exposed, and you're in the pitch black dark, and so it's a lot more intimidating, I think.
I do not agree. I remember my first time riding Disney World after so many Disneylands, and I'm like, am I in the car? Are we safe to go now? Because you're just like right way up there.
Yeah.
When it used to have the seatbelt too originally, when it was the toboggan style.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it got the T-bar when they put in the plastic, lounge seats that they bought down at Kmart. What it felt like, I can remember the first time I went, it was still the sit in the lap. And then one of the times I went later on, it was the bad plastic seat that, now it's like you're on the Spirit Airlines where it's just plastic and you knock on it. If you've been too far back, it'll snap. I don't have any opinions on these facts.
I need to ride I need to ride Space Mountain again, apparently. It's been too
I just
long.
want to clarify for those who may not be clear on all this. So Space Mountain in Florida right now has inline seating, one across, each seat on its own with the T-bar. Space Mountain in Disneyland, as it always has two across, each with its own lat bar. Theoretically, I have a story there. So when I used to ride Space Mountain back in the day, because, I am on the healthy side, I would not easily fit in one car. I could fit in one seat, but it was really hard to get the lap bar down around
it's
both
narrower,
my legs.
It's narrower than the seat itself a little bit.
I would just put one leg on one side, spread my legs out, put one leg on the other side. I'm still sitting in one seat, but my legs are spread, and I would just pull down both lap bars. Catherine was like, "Yeah, you're good. Go right ahead." Then one day I went to do that, and the Catherine was like, "You can't ride like that. What's wrong with you?" No, they were nicer than that. They're like, "You can't ride like that. You have to sit both on one side." And I think I did. It just wasn't as comfortable. But they used to let me ride. So
Funny.
however I want. And I'm riding there. I've got one leg on one side, one on the other. My hands are up as high as they can go. Glow in the dark gloves. So I'm just flying through Space Mountain. Woo! I knew the ride really well. I know when to pull my hand in.
You would ride with these white gloves, and I would be seated behind. I would just see gloves.
And my dream was to just at the right point just throw a glove off, so someone would think I lost. I never did, but I always thought that'd be great.
Let me answer Luke's question really quick.
Okay.
There wasn't a direct tie to Horizons. Horizons and Carousel of Progress are tied together. The post show of Space Mountain before they redid it when it was still FedEx had kind of a feel like Horizons, but it wasn't tied to it.
Okay. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you, Professor Jeremiah, for that complete. All right, so 1983 comes around, and Disneyland says, "Let's build a ride." No, Disney says, "Let's build a park in another country," and that country would be Tokyo Disneyland. And of course, Tokyo Disneyland needed to have a thrill ride. Let's give it Space Mountain. So that was the first park to open where Space Mountain was actually an opening day attraction, if I'm not mistaken. And I've never been to Tokyo. Rebecca has. Did you ride Space Mountain while you were there?
Yes, I did actually.
Tell us about it.
I don't remember. I just
All right.
so there you go. It was many, many decades ago. But I did ride it. I found a picture of me and all my friends from Japan in the exit. So I was like, oh, I did ride Space Mountain.
So Jeremiah, who in addition to being VP of Loser T-shirts, is also VP of International Theme Parks. Excuse me, Winter T-shirts. Winter T-shirts. Let's take a moment for Tommy, by the way.
Oh, I adore Tommy.
Tommy the Great. We all
Yeah,
adore
he
Tommy.
was so amazing.
Did you do Space Mountain in Tokyo, Jeremiah?
I did. Do you have that picture handy?
I don't know. Did you send it to me?
I did.
Yeah,
It's the one that's dark at night.
There you go.
Because
Oh,
as much of Tokyo Disneyland was, this is either a version of Disneyland or a version of the Magic Kingdom. And as you can see in front of it, there is a moving walkway without a sock on it. So it was very much the replica of the Space Mountain from Disneyland at that time. And it still is. When I went on it a few years ago, I felt like I was just, in California enjoying Space Mountain.
Including the soundtrack?
No, they actually... Do they not have the soundtrack? Do we have that fax?
I do not know. I mean, when I went in the 80s, so when I went, it was before Disneyland had a soundtrack, so I'm sure there wasn't one, but...
Someone should talk while someone else researches.
I'm researching also.
All right, Shelley, you do the talking.
All right, I shall talk.
So adjacent to Space Mountain in Disneyland, because I'm going to talk about that, is the Starrcade. Can I talk about the Starrcade?
All right, we can talk about the Starrcade.
While we figure out what was going on with Tokyo. I loved the Starrcade. It had a mural of Mickey lights that is still there, thankfully, on the outside, right? It's still there.
Yes.
Right there.
No, there is no soundtrack in Tokyo.
Thank you.
But the shop beneath the Star Trader had this adorable Mickey Mouse animation that would, it would go through each of these would light individually. And then once it had been all the way through the animated sequence, then it would illuminate all of them. And I always loved this, example of animation, on display on the building. And then upstairs would be the arcade. And it was downstairs too for a while.
No. The Starrcade.
I'm sorry, the Starrcade. And downstairs on the first floor was like my favorite game. It was called Steeplechase. And it was this enormous screen on the wall. And it was an early Atari game. And it was a picture, it was like you had a horse and everybody had a horse. So you would be like 4 or 5 people lined up. And you had an enormous image on the wall. And when the music would start, when the thing would start, you would have to hit the jump button when the steeple would move close to your horse, and whoever was the best at it would get to the end and win. And it was very simple, but I would usually spend about $1.50 playing steeplechase on Space Mountain while my friends rode because I was too short to ride. And so they would ride.
My favorite about Starrcade was they had the Tron setup, where everybody could play Tron at the same time and watch it on the big screen for many years.
I don't remember that one.
It was probably gone. I think that may have been where Steeplechase ended up.
By the way, we have someone who's disagreeing with Jeremiah, which is a dangerous thing. But Gio is like our top trivia player, so I'm ready to see a fight. Donna says she loved watching the People Mover going through the store. Yeah. Disneyland's People Mover was a bomb diggity. No question.
I love it.
No question.
They put an X-wing. Pardon me, Shelley?
I was going to say, I'm just so sad I never got to do that. It looked like it was so much fun and it went all over the place.
It did. And why did you never do it?
I didn't know.
She doesn't like Disneyland.
No, that's not true. I love Disneyland.
They had escalators in the arcade too.
Yes, they had.
And when Star Tours and all that came, they put that enormous X-wing over the escalators, right?
Yes.
It eventually moved some. I thought it move into the Starrcade eventually. I mean, into the Star Trader eventually. But initially, it like hung over you when you would go up the escalator to the top floor where all the real fun was at. And that's where Doobie and apparently Jeremiah as well would play air hockey.
That's where I became the reigning Disneyland air hockey champ, at least upon my.
Yeah,
Bring it. Let's do this.
Yeah, we would have it. We would have tournaments over. We had 2 or 3 of them, as I recall.
Are you challenging me, Jeremiah, to an air hockey?
I am.
Oh,
this will be cool. Okay, we have to do this.
I cannot wait.
Okay, so you find a really solid Walt Disney World air hockey table, and next time we're at Disney World, man, it's down.
Kick your hiney.
It's down. It'll be fun.
I'm good.
Bring it.
Bring it all right.
It'll be fun. And then upstairs was also the pinball, and my favorite pinball game up there was Pinbot. You remember Pinbot?
No.
Pinbot was one of my favorites.
It was so cool because it was one of those where as you would rack up points, you were trying to travel we will. You would travel the planets as you would get your points, and if you were paying attention and did it at the right time, you could end up with like double ball because it would like
And play 2 at once?
and then play 2 at once, and that like the
And
best.
I actually played Pinbot just last week at the Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So good. I forget. I've played Pinbot recently, but I can't remember. Oh, you know what? There was a place near here that I found that was similar. But yeah.
So
Okay,
this
go.
is 2017, and there are no speakers on the backs of the cars.
Yeah.
Doesn't Magic Kingdom have sound without speakers? The off-board sound?
Yes, but the synchronized sound.
Okay.
Gotcha.
The Steamboat Willie sound, as we call it.
Yes.
All right. So
2001 thought another exciting thing come
All right,
true
let's do
before
that.
we.
A Space
When
Odyssey.
did the Starrcade close?
Off and on. I mean, it kind of stayed open off and on throughout the years until pretty much Wreck-It Ralph, I think was the last time it was actually used as an arcade. And then after that, it turned into expansion space. Last time I was there was for an after-hours event, and they used it for the check-in area. And then upstairs is Q.
according to Disney Wiki, it officially closed in November of 2007.
Okay.
For whatever.
Thank you.
that was. Remember when we what?
When we had food up there before fireworks, we had like a little.
Yes. Yeah.
There was like a little after evening event in the after evening, a little
That's
after
called morning.
an evening event. This is when they themed the bathrooms to say aliens and humans outside the exit of Space Mountain. And these for the longest time were like the bathrooms that I would avoid.
Wait, who goes where?
And then, but I don't think that it was one was aliens and one was, it was like to let you know that these are for aliens and humans.
So I have a story about the bathroom after you get done telling about your.
These were the ones that I would try to avoid because they were often chaotic and unpleasant. But mostly this what I wanted to grab these pictures for was because this is when they added the onboard photo.
Yeah.
And,
Which is so passe now, but this is one of the
but
first.
it was very cool when it happened.
So I really don't want to say this to Doobie because I know it's going to come back to haunt me for the rest of my life. I, as opposed to you, Rebecca, would go to that bathroom purposefully because it had the music that was created for Tomorrowland that was never used.
Well, you were one of
it ended up being used here at the Magic Kingdom, and it had If You Had Wings and all of those. And I spent many a time in there. And I can remember people like when we used to trade CDs and tapes, trading the bathroom music from Tomorrowland.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I know where this conversation is going.
I'm picturing Jeremiah walking into a bathroom with the tape recorder, holding it up to the speaker, security being called.
Oh my! Here, scroll up a little bit. I want to show. There's another. Can we talk about those?
What?
This one from '99. Yeah. Well, it's sideways, but yeah. So back in 1999, this amazing thing came to Disney parks. It was called FastPass.
Now it's gone.
And you didn't have to wait in line. And when it came to Space Mountain, it looked like this. Show them what it would look like because it doesn't look like it did. It's not.
It looks amazing. Trust us, it does.
Trust us. This
Am I
picture's
showing?
fantastic.
Oh, I didn't know I wasn't sharing. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. That's what I said. You're not sharing. Yeah.
I really want to put Mark's comment on this, Mike's comment on the screen, but
So, like there's this part of it that would stick up and would scan your that's how you would scan your ticket. And then that secondary portion, that would be where you would actually glean your FastPass. Look at the enormous footprint of what this FastPass
Where's the Magic Band reader?
machine was like. It's very funny to me how different it was.
So to transition, I couldn't find the picture, but when they started to test the FastPass on your phone for Disneyland, pretty much what became MaxPass, they had the first scanner that was a pole with a scanner that you'd walk up and do that. And I was lucky enough to be there for the first day of that. And as opposed to this giant thing. It was a pole with a small scanner on there, and you had the FastPass on your phone.
Wow. And then they had the big signs everywhere because they wanted to be sure you knew what FastPass was and how to use it. And so it had like the step-by-step. Instead of waiting in line, let us save a place for you with FastPass. And then it would have the steps you would take in order to utilize FastPass. Was what they called it, the quickest way to see your favorite attraction. So yeah.
Is there a T in that? It looks like LEL.
What?
Instead of waiting in line.
The T, it's a
tiny picture.
Yeah, it's a tiny picture.
Oh, okay.
The first generation Mavicas. So yeah. These
like
are
less than a megapixel.
Yes.
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 You are not wrong.
Mike says FastPass just makes bigger lines. He's that guy. So Jeremiah, let's move on to 1995. Picture it, Paris, 1995. So
I Disney, a lot of people smoking.
Disney created
Crepes.
Space Mountain. Oh, whoa. We have clarification.
Oh, perhaps.
Jeremiah is the winner. All right. When doing Space Mountain in Paris, Disney decided we're going to do something completely different. First of all, they put it in French. Moon de la Terre de la... How do they say it, Jeremiah?
From the Earth to the Moon?
Yeah, yes. In French, I'll say. And it was Disney's first looping coaster, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Also Disney's first launch coaster.
Yes.
And I haven't had a chance to do it, but Jeremiah has. Can you talk about Space Mountain in Paris? Discovery Mountain.
Discovery Mountain was... So I didn't make it to Paris until last year. Or 2 years ago, I'm sorry. And for me, Discovery Mountain was the coaster. Like, I can't wait to do this. It loops. It's going to be amazing. So I finally make it there, and it's Hyperspace Mountain.
It's still loops.
Yes, it still loops. It still launches. It's amazing. But they completely did away with the entire storyline. You know, they had this beautiful mountain with the cannon that's very retro. I can't even think of the proper word for it right now.
Steampunk.
Yeah, steampunk, but like original.
Gotcha.
And then you sit down on it and you're flying and you're hearing them calling for Red 5 and you fly past TIE fighters and your lasers go.
Not exactly the environment you anticipate based on.
And the best thing is Paris is getting better, but when I went there, it was just at the time when Disney was starting to acquire Disneyland Paris fully and put the money into it. So you would walk through the queue and they would still have the From the Earth to the Moon stuff. They'd have the cannon, they had the Jules Verne type stuff in the queue, and then you get the load platform and they have banners for Hyperspace Mountain, and you sit down and you launch in, and though they have the synchronized audio and video. And because it's a looping coaster, they would stop you if you started to back up. So I stop at one point and I'm looking at just a TIE fighter laser coming at me. And we just sat there for like 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Great coaster overall. But again, time to lay off the themes, people.
I remember back when I became a Disney fan, 95, 96, reading an issue of Disney Magazine that was talking about this From the Earth to the Moon or Discovery Mountain, whatever it was called back then. And I must have reread that 100 times, just dreaming of being able to go there and ride this amazing version of Space Mountain that Disney had created in Disneyland Paris. And apparently it'll never happen now. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Especially since I always saw From the Earth to the Moon in Universal Studios. They would always show clips of that
and
the original movie.
That has the over-the-shoulder restraints, which is just not comfortable for that. Like, I banged my head many a time on that attraction.
I think that's a you problem, Jeremiah.
Do you do that on Rock and Roller Coaster?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't.
You don't bang your head on Rock and Roller Coaster?
No.
Well, you should bang your head.
I love over-the-shoulder restraints. I know they're going to fit. And they're the most comfortable including ride.
I haven't been on Rock and Roller Coaster in forever.
I never if I go and it's not a long line, a short single rider or whatever, I'll do it because it's a fun 2
I haven't
minutes.
done it in a
so
long
much
time.
fun.
I should try it.
Wait,
when you guys come out for the air hockey tournament, we'll.
Yeah, I have a great idea, Jeremiah. All right, and then there's one more international one. Hong Kong, 2005. Now, of course, Hyperspace Mountain
Disappointed
as
in
well.
both of you.
Jeremiah,
I did it the friendly way.
Disappointed in both of you.
why?
I
What did we do?
You don't watch our walk and talks, apparently, because that's a
What did
joke.
we do?
Go ahead. Go on.
Okay, I didn't do nothing. Did you get me in trouble, Jeremiah?
With me.
No,
I just
we
did
got
the
in trouble.
actual.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So Hong Kong in 2005. One of the interesting things about Hong Kong Space Mountain in 2005 was that was being built while Disneyland was heading into its 50th anniversary. And Disneyland's Space Mountain had been rattled to the point where they had to shut it down almost completely because of the tracks falling apart. And Matt Ouimet, the president of Disneyland at that time, pushed them to actually, they dug even deeper at Disneyland and put in the exact same track that they had just built for Space Mountain in Hong Kong. So they built two of the exact same tracks, stuck it together. Well, they didn't stick together, but duplicated it. So it is very interesting to go on it in Tokyo Disney or in Hong Kong Disneyland because their queue is set up. It's all, you enter on the level that you load. So you don't go upstairs for anything. Mm-hmm. And my favorite story for that is when I went to Hong Kong, that was the first time I rode Hyperspace Mountain because they just changed it over there and they just changed it to Disneyland. So you're walking through the queue and Admiral Akbar comes on and talks about Squad 77, which is reference to Space Mountain in Disneyland. And they didn't even change the audio or anything.
Yeah, nice to watch.
Mentioning the queue reminds me of one of my favorite parts of riding Space Mountain at Disneyland back in the day. And that was the queue. I mean, you go up the speed ramp. That was cool. Then you're walking on this building, which was cool. Then you get inside the hallways where you have Mario Lopez and the great video. And then you emerge onto the loading area, but way up high. So you're watching all the people load below you as you slowly make your way down in this cool lighting and I remember the CMB 2000, which I was always told stood for cast member bungalows, but I don't know, maybe someone was just pulling my chain. And you're just walking down until you get down to the bottom in this cool room and being able to watch an attraction load and start, and then the people finish and they're all happy. There aren't too many places where you can watch that for an extended period of time at a Disney park. So they read a queue, yes. So those memories of riding Space Mountain and queuing Space Mountain are one of my favorites.
Do you remember trying to figure out, I remember trying to figure out if the visuals that we're seeing actually meant anything. Because you would in the queue there'd be it would be following the status of some mission.
Yeah.
You were and I would look and I would try does it actually correlate to what's happening down here or anything?
But you just reminded me that in the queue, in the Mario Lopez portion of the queue, you could see into the ride. Yeah. I totally forgot that. Yeah. You could see you could watch the cars go by in the dark and kind of get the thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, there was the one area where it would come around the corner and it was just that small portion, and the window wasn't very long, so it was a very neat, just little snapshot of the attraction. It was about what you get from riding People Mover to me. Yeah, it's very similar feel.
In Magic Kingdom, when it was still the Mario Lopez video out here, they didn't have the ceiling on the queue when you're doing the Alpha or Omega, so you could actually see the coaster and hear the screams and see the chocolate chip cookie.
And didn't it have the glow in the dark little stripe on it? So you could see it go whoosh.
Yeah, you could see that.
Wait, what could you see, Shelley?
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The Mario Lopez, did that also have those slightly racy FedEx little interstitial scenes that would play on the TVs? Those crack me up. Like, I forgot how like wildly inappropriate those were.
Anybody that's wondering about this video, you can go on YouTube. It's on there. They took it's almost like sci-fi dine-in, where they took classic 50s commercials and movies and kind of stuck them in. I know that there is lots of jokes about the temperature on different planets and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then they also had the robot scanning, the package scanning robot
Yeah.
in that view as well. Mike asked a very, very astute question.
Yes. Yes, that's just exactly.
So one of the things about Hong Kong is when they designed the Hong Kong Space Mountain, they, for their Halloween the following year, I believe it was the first year it was open, that was when Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy debuted out there. But it took quite a few years for it to actually make it into Disneyland, even though it was the exact same design. And the queue for Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy, the video screen that you guys were talking about, had like visuals that if you were even a little bit afraid of that coaster, you were not getting on. Right? Like the Ghost Galaxy, the alien would kind of pop in at times.
Ghost Galaxy looks scary. I've never done it. It looks
love
scary.
Ghost Galaxy. I was sad when it didn't return, I think 2 years ago.
It's too creepy. It's too creepy. I didn't.
I think they need
enjoy it.
a Christmas overlay for it, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Fun.
Yeah.
Tokyo Disneyland, even Magic Kingdom during the parties, they would light up the outside with the red and green colors. That's as close as they need. Although having Santa, you get to fly right by Santa.
They should. Yeah.
Fly alongside of them.
Ruby, do you like that idea?
Yes, it should be Santa's ride, like Santa, Space Santa, Santa's Mountain, something like that. And they put like a red light on the front of the car, and ho ho ho, and you take off, you shoot through there. Like, go
we're trying to make sure we help Santa get back to the North Pole,
and like have like digital presents like flying all over the place. Maybe get Tim Allen to play some part of it. You know,
I'll sign on to this on one condition: that it's loosely based upon the Pia Zadora film Santa Claus Conquers the Martian, and that epic song SANTACL.
I don't want it loosely based. I want it 100%.
I'm a big fan of Pia Zadora, so I'm good with that. By the way, Mike has now completely tuned out of the show, and he's just trying to think of some puns for us. So, Saved by the Jingle Bell. Keep them up, Mike. Keep those puns coming. All right, so those are the 5 space mountains. It has not made its way to Shanghai as of yet, but
it probably won't. When they were designing Shanghai, that was one of the questions of why didn't they do a space mountain? Because they didn't have any tie to a space program, which is what Space Mountain was originally. Both at Walt Disney World and Disneyland, it was tied to the rocket launches of the time. So in Shanghai, of course, they went with the even better Tron Light Cycle Power Run.
Better than Space Mountain?
I think so.
Yeah? Oh, that'll be a fun debate when that opens.
Yes, we'll judge. You're welcome.
You're welcome, Jeffrey.
Welcome.
Anytime.
It's
Hooray for Santa Claus.
And if you've not watched the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians,
I haven't.
Even better.
Jeremiah, you know that because of Tom Hatton, right? On KTLA back in the day. Yeah, I was gonna say the only way.
Right after you get done drawing Popeye, and he could walk next door and show us Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
That's the only reason I know Pippi Longstocking.
That's another great one.
But I would always cross my fingers for Pippi Longstocking. Otherwise, it was Click, or maybe The Incredible Mr. Limpet. I'd be watching.
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah. Okay, so now we're doing KTLA children's boardings.
Shelley, you can just tune out now.
I'm scarred. Like Pippi Longstockings is like one of those movies that when I was a kid, I watched it and I feel still scarred.
Right?
I haven't seen it.
I just wanted the tree so I could always get the stuff out of it.
Oh, the worst thing is there was a version of the Aladdin tales that he shared, and I keep trying to track it down, and I get close, but I haven't yet been able to. I think I finally have the title and everything, but I can't actually find the film itself.
You should write him.
So no, he sadly he passed away a few years ago. But
Mike is out of this conversation altogether. I don't know where he's going anymore.
Apple Dumpling Gang. Okay, I don't get that one.
can you
I used to love that movie.
this is, can you pull that up because I want to share this? Okay. Where were you going to go next, DB? What were we going to talk about now?
So we're kind of done with the parts. I think we talk about some of the ancillary. The first one that comes to my mind.
Ancillary. But okay.
You have Slack.
Tomato.
That's hard to say in Slack.
You say tomato, as he
Okay,
said.
fine,
I
yeah,
say ancillary.
Yeah, you do.
In the Disney Gallery up in Disneyland, there used to be a Space Mountain model. Was that Paris's?
Ooh, I can't even say.
That was the Doug Hartwell, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't recall. All I recall from up there is Hartwell's Astro
Orbiter.
Yeah.
No,
sorry.
I think it wasn't Paris's. It was Disneyland's, but it was a model
But
that they had
of
up
the
there.
conceptual one.
No, it was a model of the Disneyland ride.
Right. And you can see the track layout.
Yes,
and
and
everything.
so it allows you
I
to see the
remember
actual
that.
track.
I totally forgot about that. Oh, I just am now remembering it. Yeah.
So,
But Tom
Anyway,
had never showed us that.
did you say Tom Hatton never showed us?
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
I remember that very well because I love the ride so much, and that was my chance to actually get a really good look
Insta.
at the.
Yeah, because that was right when you walked up. That was in the main room for a long time.
And then you're right. The Paris's Astro Orbiter was there, and that was Doug Hartwell's model.
I don't know if it's going to pop up though. Maybe I should just show it. From
Yeah,
my
just
phone.
show it from your phone.
Okay, it's not the greatest, but do you guys remember when this little adorable guy came up?
Wait, hold on. Do I have mine? Hold on.
Whoa! It's time to play. Show us yours.
Dang it, I can't find it.
You can find it.
But how cute! How cute was that? It was by
the
Jared.
Cuties.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they
it
were
was cutesy as hell.
they were so cute. I think they also did Wishables, right? Did they do a Space Mountain Wishables as well eventually? Whereas like the thing, but it was one of those things where it's kind of a continuation of the odd notion. Here, do we pull this picture up? And
Well, there was also like the cookie jar and mug that nobody ever could eat or drink out of, but everybody wanted.
I wanted that cookie jar. I'm not gonna lie. I was so sad. I couldn't find it.
when they brought Buzz Lightyear, sorry.
Go Browns.
When they brought the Buzz Lightyear and they changed this mural on the wall over by on the Star Tours area of things, it was I'm sorry, it was the Star Command, it's just the other side. It was weird to think of it as a port, as in something that was in the air, like
yeah, that's crazy.
I'd always thought of it as like a landform because it was called Space Mountain. So I always thought of it as kind of like this futuristic landform. And so then to see like multiple kind of just flying out in space, more like, Alpha Base 7 or something,
So is the idea these are
alternate.
These are like the Imperial starships, and then what we're on are like the little fighters taking off from it?
Sure. Yeah, I know you are. I would go more Death Star than I would go Star Cruiser, but okay.
Okay, but same
Star
concept.
Destroyer. But yeah. It was a base that would move, which is like I say, I had previously thought of it as some sort of futuristic landform. So it's just kind of changed my thought. And then they gave him a smiley face and made him all happy and cute.
I love the rocket.
You could cuddle, right? Everybody wanted to cuddle with the little Space Mountain. Cuddle.
Yeah, the Space Mountain toy. What's this one over here on the right? Is that Wally?
No, it's the rocket sled.
That's the rocket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's the dog?
At the exit of the one here, the rover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But these pictures are from a site called Laughing Place.
Yeah, I think I've heard
But
of
I
it.
think it's a Disney picture.
And if you like them, you should subscribe and follow us. Ring our belly.
And then going back to where it all started, the spaceport. So at the Walt Disney Family Museum, they have a model of a Disneyland that doesn't exist. It is kind of, how would you describe it, Rebecca? Or Jeremiah?
No, exactly what you said. It's a mixture of early concept designs along with the reality. So it's a mixture. It's not necessarily. Some people think when they first see it that it's going to be like, oh, this is Disneyland frozen in this date, and it isn't really that. It's very much a blend. So you have adventure through inner space represented, and then next to it you have this Space Mountain that we've never realized. And
so this is the spaceport version,
and you have the things
the
that
Flying
you
saucers right next to it. Yeah.
saucers bumping around.
One of my favorite parts is the Skyway has on one side of the Matterhorn the square buckets, and on the other side the original round buckets. It's kind of fun. But so they have a model of Space Mountain as it might have been the way Walt envisioned the spaceport. With you can see the top stairs a little different, and you can kind of tell there's some track going around it. So if you get a chance, Northern California, do not miss Walt Disney Family Museum, and when you're there, do not miss this amazing model that you can spend an hour just staring at all the various facets of the model, no problem whatsoever.
And it's lovely because it has day and night. It dims and then things illuminate.
Oh.
So you get kind of a day and night feel. So if you stay there long enough, you can kind of watch it cycle through. It's really, really lovely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a favorite. Gideon used to spend, like, literally, I would pull up a book and sit nearby and just read and wait for him to be done because he would just look at it for about 2 hours.
And then let us not forget that what year was this movie? I should have looked that up. What year was Tomorrowland?
Ooh.
16?
2015.
15.
Yeah, I always get my D23 Expos mixed up.
Right.
So Tomorrowland, a movie starring George Clooney.
Brad
Bird, not a hit. Actually, I think I would say a miss, unfortunately, but pretty enjoyable movie. Not quite.
I was going to say, but scored well, like Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, that kinds of things. Scored well.
The Jeremiah scale.
Really?
Did you get a Tomorrowland pin? Did you get a Tomorrowland pin, Jeremiah?
Yes, I actually have many different Tomorrowland pins, including some that were like special order.
Nice.
I loved Tomorrowland. I love Tomorrowland mostly because I delved into. There's a book that came out, and there was an animated feature that was added onto the DVD Blu-ray that kind of gave more of a history of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
Optimus game and everything, Jeremiah.
I'm sorry?
Did you get
Did you
into
play the Optimus game and everything that went along with Tomorrowland?
Yes, but when they were doing everything at Disneyland for the D23 Expo, I didn't have a pass to go into Disneyland that day, so I never got to experience the amazing thing in the cinema. And people were telling me about it. And the person who played the Optimus, the guy who was in the expo that was doing everything, he actually was Officer Blue in DCA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they were sending out things, I got one of the records and like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, no, go ahead and I'll take all that.
I know, Jeremiah. There's life. Put it in your will.
No, don't do that.
There's a closer version at the night for you.
That's the coolest
There
thing.
you go. No, it's really an amazing model. It's just gorgeous and beautifully done.
And some nice docents there. Is that the right word?
Yes.
To talk to you about it too. It's a great place to visit, the Walt Disney Family Museum.
Various videos nearby you can watch as well.
So Tomorrowland, as we were saying, the movie Tomorrowland had a scene.
This was the movie poster.
And in that city of Tomorrowland, you can see Space Mountain, of course. So.
And Jeffrey pointed out that it also briefly appeared in Meet the Robinsons.
I was going to say Todayland, yeah.
Todayland.
So right, good point. De facto fun fat kidder, Andrew Stanton, Rick both Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, and Brad Bird wrote those incredible films.
Thank you.
Very good.
So lots of I like how she threw in. How Kidder threw in Day and Night is also the name of a Pixar.
I know.
show.
I always think she too.
I don't know why.
I
don't know why either.
So I like this picture. This is just such quintessential Space
very.
Mountain. I just love to show that picture.
Didn't that used to be? Oh, I feel like that used to be a postcard that you could buy in the shops, right?
Yeah, I think so. Also,
it feels like it. I know there was one that was like part of this, and then the ride vehicle also in the image, but yeah.
And then you want to talk about this, Rebecca? You found this little beauty.
Did you? I wasn't able to get it to you, was I? So I belong to a Facebook group that I highly recommend. It's called the Disney History Institute. Their main focus is the history of Disney in the era of Walt. That is their focus. And there's several what I would call respected historians who frequent this group and very much enjoy it. Disney History Institute is the name of the group. Well, a while back, someone had visited Mexico and had visited the Basilica de la Guadalupe, I believe is the appropriate name, and had noticed that there was a similarity between the Basilica and Space Mountain. And then they even noticed that, here, I'm gonna just have to show it on my phone, that in the there we go, bring it over here, tilt it a little bit more, bring it up a little bit closer. That's concept art. It is familiar to Disney fans as being from John Hench. Now I'm too far. There we go. Okay, and they actually had that out in front of it as being listed as responsible, or kind of, here's some of the designs, or here's some of the ideas that were presented and documented as this was developed. And it was just one of those weird, moments as a Disney fan. And they shared it with the group, and they were, trying to find out more information. There wasn't a lot of further information as to, how this happened or what kind of thing. But I dug in and I found out that the designer who did this basilica was also involved with the 1964 Mexico Pavilion designs. And so it made me wonder if perhaps he and Hench had, crossed paths at all. If there had been some sort of like cross-pollination discussion, whatnot. It was just one of those weird, happenstances. Like I say, it's a mystery that's kind of was out there and unsolved. But yeah, so if you're ever down in Mexico City, you can see this modern Catholic basilica. Like
how Jon Favreau and Wing Chao kind of hooked up at an event, and then
it would appear that the Wing Chao, Ming Na Wen, Jon Favreau, yeah, exactly.
Are we going to Wing Chao tonight?
You would never ever know. I still love the fact that he was in Mandalorian.
That is so
that
awesome.
Still is one of my highlights of 2020.
And then we got to talk to him. He's so nice.
So very sweet.
All right. So anything else, Space Mountain, before I ask my one last Space Mountain question? Jeremiah, Shelley, Rebecca, Space Mountain. Show me what you got.
Oh, I have to go find something with Space Mountain on it?
Please.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Oh, dear goodness.
You have to vamp.
I will. Don't worry. Okay. Jeremiah, you too. I expect Jeremiah to be here.
Anything with Space Mountain on it.
Oh, sure you do. Sure you do.
I do.
Come on. So
where did the cuties go?
We're going to eventually start a new show here on Laughing Place called something. We don't know what we're going to call it, but where we show off merchandise, have people where we just give a theme, and then they got to go find it on the fly, kind of like Rebecca and Kelly are, even though Jeremiah, for some reason, is just sitting there.
Because Jeremiah's trying to think of what he has.
But right now, we're doing it with Space Mountain real quick. Show me what you got. And Jeremiah's still thinking. Rebecca's off exploring. Shelley is off exploring, but close enough to still let us hear her voice, which is Jeremiah. He's gone. Just me.
I'm back. I'm back. I found something with Space Mountain on it. Look at what your son decided to provide for you. Space Mountain. Something with Space Mountain on it. Okay, I've got mine. What?
Donna sent me a picture, but my computer. No, I've got it, but my computer's just too slow when I'm streaming.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Computer.
Oh,
this is always fun. Someone likes this part of the show.
The Mad Scramble?
Oh, yes. Otherwise, I would.
oh.
Where's my phone, Giddy? Oh, don't like that.
Can you share it with me? It's okay, don't worry. You can put it on my. Have you found anything yet, Shelley?
No, I can't find my little thing.
Okay.
That's it.
Billy's
I
out.
have something that's probably
Billy
not
can't come
even.
back ever again. Oh, my is that dog in the window? Bark, 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 bark.
I still miss the up. You guys talking about the up escalators and all that made me miss them. I still miss them. Isn't that silly?
All right.
Judy's back.
We got one from a reader. Can we see
You have
it?
to kind of tilt it down a little bit because it'll read it better if you tilt it to the side.
You take this out.
Okay.
It is a people mover hat, but it's got Space Mountain on it. That's from Donna. Thank you, Donna.
Okay. Are you
All right.
ready? Jeremiah?
Ready.
Okay, here's mine. It says, "A ride that's out of this world," and it's a postcard from Disneyland.
All right, that's
That's my Space Mountain.
that's pretty bottom of the barrel.
Sorry, that's
Shelly,
what I got.
Shelly, what you got?
Okay, this is sort of whatever, but I always think of the people mover at Disneyland because like you can see everything. So I have a little Disneyland people mover. I mean, not people mover, Skyway.
Oh, that's
Matterhorn.
cute.
All right, that's nice.
Okay,
Jeremiah, what you got?
Jeremiah's gonna
Well,
win.
this is the launch tube of Discovery Mountain in.
Cheater.
No,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's not bad.
Nice. Hang on, Jeremiah, you get solo for that. Very nice. This was part of a collection of cards that were released day by day for 40 days.
Yes.
41 days.
41 days at
Yeah.
Disneyland. And so you had to go consecutively in order to garner the whole collection.
We've talked about this before, but
Yeah,
Yes.
or else you ended up trying to get them from a secondary market. But
In
we will
1970.
have that discussion at some other time too.
that's very, very cool.
So there is our Space Mountain collection. I'm going to declare the winner my wife because
Yeah.
I like her the most.
Yeah.
And
It's your postcard. So
I can't believe I don't have anything like I don't have a watch.
do you not? Yeah, no. I was just thinking about that while we were getting this show together. I was trying to think
Space
what
Mountain.
I don't really have any
There's
Space
not
Mountain
even that much great Space Mountain merchandise. It doesn't really lend itself to merchandise that
in the
much.
same way. No, but it's like mugs and coffee things and things like that.
The for the new Tomorrowland,
Tomorrowland.
For
that's
California or
cool.
Florida? California?
That's
California.
Yeah, that's California.
I have
Oh,
something
Such high hopes. Such high hopes back then.
like it's Zoe's first ride.
family
on,
on
I can't see if I can see it. That's Zoe's first ride on Hyper. It was Hyperspace Mountain. Oh, I can't see, but she's in the front with her little hands up.
that's cute.
Oh wait, hold on. I got to see that Jeremiah in Disney jail.
It has absolutely nothing to do with
that
Space
you?
Mountain. Yep.
Aw.
Why?
What? Look at the date on the.
50505.
Oh yeah, I remember I was that day.
Very cool.
Yeah, we showed your hat, Donna.
Oh yeah,
We did show it, Donna. Thank you very much.
very cool.
All right. Thank you guys very much for doing Space Mountain. This was actually a lot of fun. And
We're sure to do better next time.
no, this was good.
Oh. I just feel like that's what you're supposed to say when you're like a
We
Tomorrowland
should have did better
defensive.
next time.
Sure
We're
to do
still
better
getting
next
this to my
time.
programming. Oh, another one.
Oh, she sent you another
All
hat.
right, let me-
Okay,
you
hang
said
on.
you emailed
hang
me.
on.
Okay. Email I can pull
We
up on my
can't
phone.
ignore Donna. She has sent us more.
No, I don't got it.
Oh, it didn't come through.
Oh, wait. No, there it is.
Oh,
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Hooray! Hooray! She stays. What's that from? Oh, is that Snow White?
Yes. There is the front of the hat. And
Nice.
it has a back. This is from the NFFC, actually. Check out that back.
Oh, I have that hat somewhere.
It says NFFC Space Mountain relaunch, July 17, 2005.
Yeah,
So
that's
what-
when we all had that wonderful meal upstairs upstairs we had ravioli up in the old Starrcade area.
I want ravioli now.
Am I the dope?
Taco Donna.
See, it was what they shared. It was, how come this isn't working for me? I have to add to stream. See? It was after this all happened. See? How it says close reverse
Yes.
as the adventure continues. Okay.
Yeah, Space
Sorry.
Mountain's nothing like that poster. Nothing like that, right?
Yeah, no. It isn't.
I like that has the white Space Mountain with the new Tomorrowland logo at the bottom still.
Yeah, exactly.
Which whiter, Space Mountain or Spaceship Earth?
Oh no.
I don't know.
Don't
Go on the ride after eating all that. Let's see. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you for having me. It's always fun.
It was good to see you again.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Oh,
Thank you. It's always nice to be. Wait, I'm always on these streams.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. We'll see you all soon.
Thank you, dear.
We're gonna talk about Disney parks tomorrow, right?
Disney
Monday.
Parks Live tomorrow at 4.
Yeah,
Jeremiah,
Monday
no,
at 4.
Mike Celestino, at least on the schedule, is going to be at Downtown Disney tomorrow morning. So I hope that's happening. I'd love to be hosting that. And then Jeremiah at 4. What's the next Dig a Little Deeper? We don't know, Gio. I'm sorry to say.
We'll know. I think we'll know by tomorrow night. I think we'll brainstorm it after we're done chatting about this one. So I think we'll figure out what we're gonna do
We're going to
next.
be moving walkways and speedways of the
Yeah.
Disney parks.
Feel free to email me at dig@laughingplace.com if you have any suggestions
Oh
for Dig a
yeah,
Little
if you
Deeper
want us
topics.
to dig a little deeper into something you
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, let us know. dig@laughingplace.com or
Yeah.
deeper@laughingplace.com or DIG or pretty much anything at laughingplace.com that's not taken by someone else will come to me. So thank you very much. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
bye, everyone.